Why is this game so strangely nostalgic? I guess it's just the college major thing. That it's like it's weird because it's not a thing that I have fond memories of, but it's nostalgic anyway. I think it's because the idea of programming is fun, and it's more fun with no stress. Like right here, the only stress element is probably the audience watching and knowing that I might be taking too long or dwelling on the wrong thought process and not being free to just like go totally blank-faced and numb and quiet and just immerse in a puzzle and not think about presenting a video and stuff like that. I think that's the closest thing to stress, but that's nothing compared to like my job's going wrong or my college major is going wrong or something like that. So it's like, yay, programming video games. Like I can almost see myself playing them more in the future. I just don't know how I feel about playing them. I don't know how I feel about playing them on a channel. At the very least, I'd prefer to do something more like visual programming, which does include like Factorio, which we played for like 60 episodes or something like that. In fact, the professional programmer I live with specifically plays Factorio all the time because it's his way of getting his infatuation with programming out without having to deal with like that. That's more appealing to him as a way of expressing that creative energy that drives him specifically without literally programming all the time. Although he does plenty of that too for fun. Storage floor. Last chapter. Somehow I think that this last chapter is going to be like 50% of this playthrough. Because they've been getting so much longer. That said, we're back on the mandatory missions. So even though we're in chapter 3, the mandatory missions might be easier for a while. In fact, it might just get much harder when I get to those last 3 optional ones at the end. So maybe it'll be smooth sailing for a little bit. I don't know. And there are also fewer optional missions in this chapter than the last one, so I don't know. It's likely grouped by mechanical theme a little bit more than pure difficulty, because that's how they designed the campaign of World of Goo also, with their branching paths and all that. Big changes are coming, but I see you already know that. Yes, you can access slots on the floor indirectly. What does that mean? You will see. It's going to change everything. Access them indirectly. That's a thing to say, huh? But also, I have misadjusted my volume a little bit, so I'm fixing that on my end, because it's just a little overwhelming. And this game minimizes strangely. You guys are just hearing the broom, but you're not hearing the volume change probably as much because of compression. Anyway, that's out of the way. Hello again. I need to read. Let's see. You can now access slots from the floor indirectly. What does that mean? You'll see. It's going to change everything. That's a weird thing to say. Okay, tell me more. Management would like you to thank you for your efforts. Indirectly. Through me. Oh. So you thanked me. Okay. I'm glad to know you made a specific point to say that you're not thanking me yourself. You're only thanking me as a proxy for somebody else, and you don't mean it. Thanks for making sure I understand that. That was really nice of you. Storage floor. Imagine each thing in the inbox is an address, and each address refers to a tile 0 through 9 on the floor. Your task: for each address in the inbox, pick up the letter at that address and outbox it. Wait, that's just a variable, or whatever you want to call it. It's just a reference name. That's okay. That's fine. I already know how to use those. Sure. It's like as if you make a big ol' sub-program, and like in programming you do this thing where you make a big ol' like sub-program thing, and then you call that program Julie, and you'll be like, call Julie, and then it'll do that thing. Or actually, no, more accurately, this is no. This is more like a stored value, in that it's you have a value that you're calling like population, and and certain things in the program might change the value at population to make it accurate and stuff like that. But but you want to make that accurate in all of the different equations you have. So those equations or formulas, I'm using the wrong words here, basically. Algorithms, there we go. That's the correct word to use. Your algorithms would call the variable or the term or whatever population, and then it would check what the current value is of population and insert that there. That part's not really that hard to understand because it's basically the equivalent of variables in math when you have x and stuff like that as just like a reference for a thing. Like, that's basically the same idea, so it's not really that much to figure out for programming and stuff. What I've been jonesing for a little bit is the ability to have like multiple pages where I would like activate this page's program or something like that. But that's clearly not what they're planning on going with, because they clearly want me to be able to work on 3 drafts at once if I get stuck, and as opposed to that. But I would love that kind of functionality just to clean up my code, because the jump arrows get spaghetti overwhelming. Congratulations, you can access tiles on the floor indirectly. Observe this example to see how it works compared to what you've been doing so far. Copy from 12, copy from 12. Let's see how the game manifests it. Okay. I want to see, I was trying to watch what they did, so. Copy from 12, copy from 12. Okay, yeah. So that's the normal copy from function, which is that it went to cell number 12, and it copied what was in it, which was 8. Then copy from brackets 12 was that it copied from the thing that's in the contents of 8. So since this is 8, he went to 8 and copied that one, which is Y. That's what we're going with. Well, so when you do copy from brackets, it'll look at the cell that's the name of that brackets, and instead of going to it, it'll just copy the thing from it. To show that, we'll see that grabbing 8 is not part of that process. You'll see here when I remove that, it's going to now just go grab Y directly. There we go. Because it's copied from 12, and 12 is 8, so it actually does a little arrow that refers to it, which is nice. It just goes straight to that. Which means that if you change this over time, it changed which one it's going to, which seems like it might have been useful for some of the other shit I was doing on the left side of the tree, the optional missions I was doing earlier. This kind of thing actually might have come in handy for some of that stuff. Alright. So all I'm supposed to do is... I'm just supposed to take that and then grab the thing for it and outbox it? Okay. That's really easy. Inbox. Copy to 10. Address. So copy to address. There we go. Now we're gonna do copy from poink address with brackets. And then we're gonna outbox that. And then we're gonna jump back to the beginning. I think I already did it, actually. I think that's the entire process, unless I've made a mistake. So, whoop. Yeah, this is a tutorial. Okay, so this is really brief. Y-Y-E-E. Oh, L-E-E-Y-Y. Yeah, oh, that's a super tutorial. It's so tutorial that we're back to the thing at the beginning of the game where I did exactly what they wanted me to do. Oh, that's weird to go back to, but that's how tutorials work. Difficulty curves. Yeah, puzzle games, when they introduce new mechanics, do really interesting things to the difficulty curve. But it's actually kind of a good thing, because you get kind of a break. You get to catch a breath and be like, oh, thank God. I'm just gonna learn something for a bit. Ah! It looks scary. In particular, because I thought it said get out. And I'm like, no, don't, it's getting subliminal. Special covert assignment. Management is requesting strings from the floor. Let's just process the strings, and not read or discuss what they say. It would be impolite to read messages intended for someone else. And forbidden. Oh, They're actually going to get subliminal, aren't they? Yes, I went on a date once, but I was told my heart was an encrypted vault of solitude. I assumed it was a compliment. We never saw each other again. T... E... T... G... What? How... That doesn't... T-tag? Tet? G? Maybe it's backwards. We'll see. We'll see if it because yeah, they're gonna be placed, if the string is placed in this direction, then it'll probably spell something from top to bottom when I look at it. I guess we'll see. Overall, each thing in the inbox is an address of the tile on the floor. For each address provided in inbox, outbox the requested item from the floor, and all following items on the floor until you reach 0. What? What? Oh, you mean to reach a 0 from here, because there's zeros here. I was like, why would you count down all the way to 0? That's just a weird gibberish amount of letters. Okay, so we're gonna go, it says following, so if T is selected, it'll be T-A-R. Then it's 0, so you stop. But if it's like A is selected, then it's A-K-E, then you stop. Like you go from left to right, as far as I can tell, until you reach the next 0. Which makes sense, because it goes letter, 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 0. And then, like, there's no 0 at the beginning, there is a 0 at the end. Alright, so the instructions make sense. For each thing that in the inbox is an address to a tile on the floor. For each address provided in the inbox, outbox the requested item from the floor and all following items. Okay, so the first part's easy, which is inboxing that item. Doing the following items, that's interesting. I'm not super sure how to do that. I would figure you would bump it? Can you bump a reference? That's what I'm wondering. Is, can I bump, like, this is 4. Can I do inbox? Can I put the 4 here? Because it's the one empty cell that they clearly gave to me for that purpose. And then it would be like reference 4, and then can I bump that and it'll now reference 5? I guess there's only one way to find out, which is to try doing that. So, inbox, copy to 24. Let's call that address, I guess. Address. Okay. So copy to address. And now a loop's gonna start here. Alright, so we're gonna have to do copy from address in brackets, outbox, and then we're gonna try bumping address in brackets. Hopefully that works. Oh yeah. I was thinking about the reference itself, but like, it's just going to be holding the value 4, and if the value 4 just goes up by 1, then it would now be referencing 5. So that should absolutely work. So we're just going to bump it, and then we're going to just start that over, I guess. Copy from address, outbox, bump it. Copy from address, outbox, bump it. And when you bump it, now you're holding the next thing. Let's see. We shouldn't be dragging the zeros out because that's part of the string. So, if 0 when you copy from address, if you're that's when you go to the destination. If it's pointing to a 0, we'll be holding a 0 at that point. So that's when you go back to the beginning and now go to the inbox and do that instead of taking the 0 out. Otherwise, you go forward to the outbox and you keep looping. Did I already do it? I lost my train of thought, which means I might have finished it already. That's apparently how my brain works. I never feel done. You can't bump with a letter? What would that even mean? Oh. You're right. I see what I did wrong. Click. Done. Anyway, back to it. Yeah, I have to bump the address field, not what it's referring to, obviously. That'd be stupid. So now he's gonna go, and he's gonna put that down, and he's gonna bump it up to 6, and he's gonna be like, wait a minute, that's a 0. Excuse me? So now he's gonna grab the next string and find out what that one is. Yeah, I don't see why this would mess up. I think I already solved it. Yeah. That doesn't... Okay, no, I'm gonna have to go back and look at that text a little bit. I started seeing things. Let's look at that again real quick. The target, I think it's that the target is awake. The target, X, is awake. XXX, I think. Take this. The target is awake, take this. Oh, they're getting cheeky about it. Now they get to start saying things because they have letters. Did I do it exactly? Yep. Yeah, we're still in tutorial mode. There's very much an intended singular outcome for these puzzles. String reverse. Ole. Ja, dort. Au. Genau. Wow. Ah. Okay, now seriously. A man, a plan, a pan, a lamb. Did I tell you about the time I went to Panama? It was a long time ago. Or maybe it hasn't happened yet. I get the order of things flipped around sometimes. Are you Dr. Manhattan? When do... Okay, it's already spelling things. For each 0 terminated string in the inbox, reverse it and put the result in the outbox. Repeat. K. We're just reversing the text, I guess. Sure. Inbox. Copy to... yeah. How am I gonna make that 0, though? Oh. It should be self-perpetuating because I'm gonna loop back to it being 0, ultimately. Right? Or do I have to go do a clause where I go grab as I don't know, I might have to duplicate it, like pick it up, put it there, make that 0, and then be able to copy 0 over to it to make it fixed or something. I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume that it works without that at first and see what goes wrong. Address, just for cleanliness and stuff like that. So copy to, not 0, copy to address. And then bump address, which is not the bracket, but the, yeah, not where it's referring to, but where it's actual variable. And then we're going to loop that, I guess. Yeah, that's all. Inbox, copy to address, bump it up by 1. Inbox, copy to address, so it'll be 0, 1, so on and so forth. So now I need to add the 0 variable. It's probably supposed to be, yeah, it had to be that after the copy to, right? Oh no, it had to be at inbox. So jump if 0 from inbox to this next step. And string. Making these fit is not easy. There we go. So that's the end string, is jump if 0. Because at that point, what we're holding is a 0, which means it's the end of the string. So now what we need to do is do a separate loop where we now count down. So we should already be at the correct address. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy from address, and then outbox, and then bump down address, not bracket. And we should be good to go. I think I then need to do an if negative. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna jump to make this part loop forever, but we need to have an if negative because when I bump the address down to -1, that's when there's no longer referring to a place and it's gonna break. So that's when I need to fix that. So I'm gonna bump address so it goes back up to 0, and then we're gonna jump all the way back to the beginning, I believe. Ba-ching. There we go. Also, let's fix there. I put that in the wrong spot. There we go. End string. That's a nightmare. Jesus. There we go. Now you can at least mostly see what the letters are, at the very least. That was way too much effort for a dumb joke. Anyway, I don't know if I messed anything up. Fuck it. Learn by doing. So W. Throw it away. I like how he just casually just throws it on the floor. I threw it on the ground. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. I fucked it up. 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 But I already know what I did, so it's fine. We're just gonna bump back down address. There we go. Yeah, because it bumps in that, yeah. When it goes back to the inbox to pick up the 0, it has already bumped the address to the next spot, which is a problem. So when it goes here, it has to bump the address back down to where it actually left off. I already know how to fix that. Now it's got a 0. It's gonna be like, oh shit, let's go pick up that one instead then. There we go. Now as long as it starts the next word correctly, we're good. Let's see. What does it say on the side of the screen? No more. We. There's no more. We. On. Irome. It said no more. We on the left side of the screen. I think it's cycling through a series of vaguely menacing words. You might have to do the sequence over and over again in order to get like the right answer or something. I'm supposed to remove 2 commands. I'm guessing the 2 commands I'm supposed to remove are this bump up and this bump down that I used to fix the problem. Because, I think slightly changing how this loop works and how you exit the loop probably fixes that. But I don't feel like it. Yay. I'm a good employee.